Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. Tonight has been a whirlwind, to say the least. A once-in-a-lifetime event here in Maine, and folks all over the region got a chance to see it together. Now, Lincoln was one of several places in Maine in the eclipse's path of totality today, and crowds came out by the hundreds for the town's viewing party. That's right. That party was put together in just a matter of weeks. Our David Ledford was there during the phenomenon and has more.
Wow, it's amazing.
Hundreds flocked to Lincoln Monday for the town's total solar eclipse viewing party, but it almost didn't happen. According to the Lincoln Lakes Region Chamber of Commerce, the whole event, which included ATV rides, food trucks, vendors, and a whoopie pie eating contest, came together in only a few weeks.
We were pretty late in deciding to start hosting this event, so it was kind of a mad dash to get all the details.
Organizers say that's because they realized that there were plenty of people who didn't want to drive too far to experience the event. And those we spoke with say they were grateful they didn't have to.
We're looking at places where not everyone will be, and we saw this little setup going on here, and we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Check it out.
Party looked fun.
She's the one who convinced me to do this. I should be at work today.
We want to see the totality.
For some, the eclipse was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
The temperature dropped, it got very cool, the wind came up a little bit. It was just phenomenal.
Mesmerizing, although we had to use our glasses to look at it, but it really is a mesmerizing experience.
For others, it was a reminder of the power of the universe.
I don't want to be sucked into a black hole.
Fair enough. In Lincoln, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
I think David echoing all of our sentiments there, indeed. Well, like many communities, the town of Millinocket had lots of energy and visitors as well. Our Grace Blanchard has more from there.
Spectacular, yeah. Speechless, yeah.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
The town of Millinocket did not hold back with their eclipse festivities. People from all over gathered at the Veterans Memorial Park in downtown Millinocket to see the spectacle unfold.
It's great to see so many people here.
It is. It's got a great energy and everyone just sharing that same excitement.
We're in the path of totality in 2017, and it was so amazing. We wanted to see it again.
Many locals say it's been decades since this many people came to the area.
There were a lot of people when I grew up here. The paper mill closed, so since then a lot of people left, but it's nice when things like this happen and people come to Millinocket.
And to see people travel to rural Maine, to love rural Maine, and to support rural Maine is really what Maine's all about. So we're pretty excited about that.
Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness held their own viewing party at their Healing Lodge in downtown.
To see this many people come to this town, enjoy this town, and really love this town, that's pretty special for us.
And as totality came across the sky, it was nothing but cheers and smiles beneath the darkness.
It's just awe-inspiring. A real feeling of energy and so much enthusiasm from the crowd. It was definitely worth the trip.
Some say they are already planning out their next eclipse.
Just talking about the one in 44?
Yeah.
So August 23rd, 44. We're like, hey, we want doing it again.
Yeah.
In Millinocket, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Jackman was one of the first places in Maine to experience totality, the town welcoming thousands of people from near and far. Our Doug Banks shares what it was like there today.
As hundreds upon thousands of people came in droves, Jackman became a hub for witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Many brought their own gear to watch a spectacular view.
I tend to get carried away with my hobbies.
As the moment rushed upon an eager crowd filled with all walks of life, each eye looked to the sky. For those who were too lost for words, quickly joined in a sea of cheers. As this crowd begins to dissipate and go to where they call home, the immediate reaction of some of the people here can't be described in words, but rather a feeling of a moment that only lasted a couple minutes, but will stay with them much longer.
I'm high on life. This is just an unbelievable situation.
And I thought, okay, the plan is go up to Maine. Worst case scenario, we don't see the eclipse, we get to spend more time together. But wow, we both were just totally blown away by it.
In Jackman, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, in other non-eclipse news tonight, a Lincolnville man will spend 6 years in jail for manslaughter. Matthew Pendleton appeared in Waldo County Superior Court in Belfast Monday, where he was sentenced to 20 years in prison with all but 14 years suspended. That sentence will be followed by 4 years probation. Back in February, Pendleton was found guilty of manslaughter in the 2023 death of 47-year-old Kevin Currit. Currit's body was found at a home on the Thorndike Road in Lincolnville after Pendleton contacted authorities. As part of Pendleton's sentencing, he was ordered to also not have any contact with Kevin Currit's family members.
The state all along alleged that this was a violent strangulation murder, but the jury rejected that theory and convicted him only of manslaughter. The judge, I think, had to struggle between issuing a sentence that reflected what the judge felt had actually happened, balancing that against what the defendant was actually convicted of.
McLean says he and his client plan on appealing the conviction and sentencing. We reached out to the Office of the Attorney General, who declined comment on the matter.
Hamden police are investigating the circumstances surrounding a body found in the water on Sunday. A statement says little after 4 p.m., Hamden Public Safety got a report about a deceased female on the shore of the Penobscot River in the area of Hughes Brothers Construction. The Bangor Fire Department also responded with their watercraft. That body was recovered and taken to the medical examiner's office in Augusta. Police say the death does not appear to be suspicious.
A Sears school bus went off the road on I-95 in Hamden earlier today. Now, the incident happened in the southbound lane around mile marker 180. By the time our crew arrived, the bus was actually back in the breakdown lane. Police on scene told us there were no kids on board at the time, only the bus driver, who was not injured. No word on what caused the bus to go off the road.
A fire that destroyed a popular market in Buxton is now under investigation. Fire burned Panda Market on Route 112 Sunday morning. When firefighters arrived, the roof partially collapsed, making it harder for them to put the flames out. 2 pets, unfortunately, were lost in the fire. The owner of the market lived in the back, and she and her family are now forced to live somewhere else. She says the fire has been hard on the kids.
She said, "Mom, my home." I said, "We don't have no home right now." So I just tell my little ones, "Don't worry, Mom, Dad, go think about you as little. You don't need to think about that much."
The owner plans to rebuild and says the community is showing a lot of support. Panda Market is known for having some of the best gas prices in Maine.
Well, a 19-year-old Milo man has been arrested following 2 reported break-ins in the town. According to the Milo Police Department, Elaine's Bakery and Milo's House of Pizza on Main Street were broken into on Friday around 11:30 p.m. The break-ins were reported around 6:30 Saturday morning. The suspect allegedly damaged a door and window of the businesses to gain entry. The suspect allegedly stole cash registers from both of the businesses and then left them behind on a neighboring street with an undisclosed amount of money taken from them. Police say some retail items were also taken. At 9:45 a.m. Saturday, Trevor Hall was arrested on multiple charges, including 2 felony counts of burglary. Police say Hall confessed to the acts and admitted to being intoxicated during the alleged burglaries. Further charges there are pending.
All right, and as we take a look outdoors today, just a stupendous, perfect day for us to view the eclipse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how you say enough about the perfection of the weather today, especially considering what we've been through in the last couple of weeks. And so then to be blessed with a day like today is it was just truly unbelievable, and it made it so much easier to enjoy the eclipse because the conditions outside were so favorable.
It really did.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and see what else is coming our way in a first check of the forecast.
Thank you so much, and wow, what a beautiful scene we saw just a few hours ago. Earlier today, barely any clouds out there, temperatures back in the 60s, picture perfect conditions to see that total solar eclipse. Down south though, upstate New York, they were not quite as lucky, but temperature wise though, felt like spring. Look at this, mid-60s, stretching from pretty much southern Maine right up into Bangor. Of course, earlier today, right at the coast, upper 50s, couple of lower 60s, right at Bar Harbor, Machias area, and some mid to upper 50s by Greenville. They do still have a thick snowpack on the ground. A light breeze out there right now, around 10 miles per hour. That's going to continue overnight tonight as temperatures continue to cool off, hovering near freezing.
All right.
All right, things cooling back down for us now, and still to come on Fox 22 News at 10. Today's eclipse proved to be great for businesses around the state, including at hotels and motels, where finding a room was tough.
And heavy traffic throughout the day and into this evening as thousands of eclipse spectators from away head home. Those stories and more local news when we come back.
Family owned and operating in the Bangor area for more than 10 years. Crosby's Welding is here to help you. We specialize in steel, stainless steel, and aluminum welding and fabrication. We serve many of the local industries from Maine lobstermen to the commercial trucking industry and everything in between. Fully mobile on-site construction services right down to custom signs and fire pits. Fast, friendly, reliable service. Give us a call today for a free estimate, 974-7815.
Your best days of the year start here at Kubota Orange Days. It's the year's biggest selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. Plus the year's best deals like 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. Orange goes all day. Sales ending soon. Visit your local dealer today.
For great Toyota offers not seen on TV, you could type buyatoyota.com into your browser, or you could simply scan this QR code and give your fingers a break. Buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals. Toyota, let's go places.
Hello, Ghostbusters. It's Doug. We help people customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. We got a bit of a situation. Sure, I can hold.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
In theaters now.
A new deck is a great, affordable way to improve your home or camp. Hammond Lumber Company can help you create the perfect deck for your outdoor space. Visit Hammond's product showroom and explore their extensive range of decking and railing options. Your Hammond sales rep will be happy to help you with your materials and design choices, and Hammond delivers from any of their 22 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Make this the year you enjoy that new deck you've always wanted. It starts when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
I'm just the cleaning lady. She's clearly much more than that.
The Cleaning Lady, all new Tuesdays on Fox.
Hello, I'm Emma Smith, and coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll have footage of the eclipse and the surrounding grounds from all of the major locations that witnessed totality. Plus, we'll have interviews from experts from NASA, a local planetarium, and a special meteorological report from Jeff Weller. This plus that full forecast coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back. The total solar eclipse brought a lot of business to the state of Maine. Hotels, motels, and inns located in Houlton benefited tremendously from the tourists that traveled for the event. Our Jody Hersey caught up with the owners of 2 area hotels who say they appreciated the economic boost, especially after this year's dismal winter.
We've been sold out for a couple of months now.
All 60 rooms at the Shiretown Inn and Suites in Houlton are booked by folks who traveled to Aroostook County for the total solar eclipse. This event couldn't have come at a better time for the businesses in Houlton that struggled to attract snowmobilers during this year's mild winter.
So typically this time of the year it is very slow for us, so it's a very welcome event for the community.
Marty Jarvis is the owner of the Shiretown Inn and Suites, a business that's been in his family for generations.
We've been here since 1958 is when we started, and we're in our 4th generation now.
Just down the road is the newly opened Woolastic Inn and Suites, owned by Brandon Cassidy, a member of the Maliseet tribe.
This is refurbished from the Stardust Motel. The tribe purchased it about 2 years ago, and we've done the renovations over the last 2 years.
The Woolastic officially opened for business over the weekend, and just like the Shiretown Inn and Suites, all the rooms are booked.
I love it. It's been so exciting.
The Greater Holton Chamber of Commerce's executive director, Jane Torres, says the eclipse really allowed event organizers the opportunity to showcase all that Holton has to offer.
All the Airbnbs are sold out. Everybody comes home for anything that happens in a small town. You know, you get people coming home.
I don't think I can think of another event in the area that's brought this many people.
In Holton, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, traffic on Maine's highways was also heavy tonight as thousands of visitors head back home. Owen Kingsley has more from Augusta.
Visitors heading north over the past several days to be in the area of totality for Monday's solar eclipse.
Kind of like a sunset almost in the middle of the day.
Turnpike officials are tracking the numbers through Maine's toll plazas.
We had just over 80,000 transactions Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming north.
That's only about a 10% rise in a typical April weekend, but
if everybody was to leave at the same time, that might be a lot different because, you know, this was over 3 days.
That's why the state campaigned ahead of this weekend.
Come early and stay late.
In hopes they might disperse some traffic. If everyone does leave at once Monday night, officials compare it to a busy holiday weekend.
Like, say, a Monday afternoon on Labor Day weekend, where everyone is kind of hitting the plaza at the same time to go south.
With the expected amount of traffic, AAA is warning of safety on the roads Monday night.
Very important to really drive defensively. We know that making a mistake when there's so many cars around you can definitely be hazardous to you and everybody else on the road.
They have extra crews all along the highway with a focus up north.
In Aroostook County, we've got 30 tow trucks and flatbed trucks, as well as another 10 to 12 light service vehicles. It's amazing that something that's happening 250,000 miles away has the potential to directly impact our safety right there on the roads in front of us.
Maine DOT says that areas of western Maine and areas north of Bangor saw more than 10 times their normal levels of traffic in those hours Monday leading up to the eclipse.
That was Owen Kingsley reporting. The commissioner of the Maine Department of Transportation is reacting to funding cuts proposed by the Appropriations Committee over the weekend. Commissioner Bruce Van Note said he's surprised and disheartened at the plan, which he says will divert nearly $60 million away from transportation resources starting next year. Van Note said, quote, Maine DOT work plans require long-term, predictable funding, and if these proposed changes become law, we'll have to cut work from our current work plan. Such a drastic change will impact everything we do, including highway and bridge projects, transit funding, and initiatives aimed at promoting resiliency and clean energy, end quote.
Well, the legislature's Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee has given initial approval for funding for low barrier shelters. Now that includes the Hope House and Living Center here in Bangor. The Bangor House delegation has been working closely with the committee to secure funding to ensure that shelters like the Hope House can remain open. The committee voted to include $7.5 million in dedicated funding to Maine Housing to support the shelters in the upcoming supplemental budget, but it probably won't cover the funding gap. Hope House has indicated it needs $800,000 this year to remain open, and if its needs aren't met, it will have to close in October. The measure faces further votes in the House and Senate.
Dozens of volunteers walked around Bangor on Saturday to help support those in need. Our Callie Warren takes us to the Hike for the Homeless.
Gray skies and a spring drizzle didn't stop this crowd, who came out in support of Bangor's unhoused population. The 29th annual Hike for the Homeless benefits the Bangor Area Homeless Shelter, which is open year-round to provide shelter, food, and more to unhoused people in the area.
Maine is special. Our area of Bangor is special. It's unique. People want to come together, and we just love to support one another.
Attendees say the hike was a great time for a great cause.
I'm here with my fraternity. We're Fiji at the University of Maine, and we're here volunteering at the homeless hike. We love to give back. I don't know, we're out here having a lot of fun.
So it's wonderful, especially representing St. Joseph. It's a big part of our mission to give back to the community for those in need.
The event started with an almost 2.5-mile hike around Bangor and concluded with a DJ, free pizza, a raffle drawing, and support for people in need.
It just makes you feel good, that people come out to walk and donate to the event to help the homeless shelter. We've been down there feeding food before to people in cold days that are in there just trying to get a warm meal.
For more information on how you can help support the Bangor Area Homeless Shelter, visit our website at foxbangor.com. In Bangor, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up, our Doug Banks sat down with Sean Lotch from the Versant Power Astronomy Center earlier today to discuss, of course, the solar eclipse.
What else? Stay tuned for that interview coming up.
I really love the welding program here. It's one of the few welding programs on the East Coast.
You're in the driver's seat. You choose what road to take. But soon, you'll be taking a back seat to big government because President Biden just banned most new gas-powered cars. They've made it clear it's their way or the highway, even if electric vehicles aren't right for you or your family. Call Senator King. Tell him to stop the car ban before it's too late. Don'tBanOurCars.com. Paid for by American Fuel and Petrochemical Manufacturers.
Bipolar One, I got help to push back.
I got help to push back.
We got help to push back with Lybalvi.
Once daily prescription Lybalvi is proven to treat manic or mixed episodes of bipolar 1 in adults to help you push back. Elderly patients with dementia have increased risk of death or stroke. Do not take Lybalvi if you are taking opioids or are in opioid withdrawal. The samidorphan in Lybalvi can cause severe opioid withdrawal that can lead to hospitalization or increased risk of life-threatening overdose. Get emergency help if you have trouble breathing, become very drowsy with slowed or shallow breathing, feel faint, very dizzy or confused, or have a fever, stiff muscles, rash, swollen glands, or problems with your liver, kidneys, heart, or lungs. Other serious side effects may include high cholesterol, weight gain, potentially fatal high blood sugar, uncontrolled body movements which may be permanent, dizziness upon standing or falls.
Are you ready? Ask your doctor about Lybalvi. Looking for copay savings? Text copay to 45286.
Hood is the cottage cheese lovers love. Why? Our country style has more protein than hummus and less sugar than yogurt. And our expertly blended flavors are a taste combination you can't recreate at home. Now that's cottage cheese. Hood cottage cheese.
Saturdays, baseball's best are showing out on Fox. You're having way too much fun. The biggest games on the best day of the week. Fox Saturday Baseball, all season long.
I've learned a lot of stuff, structural welding, pipe welding. That's given me all the tools that I didn't have before.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
Welcome back, everyone. We go now to our Doug Banks and his conversation with the director of the Versant Power Astronomy Center earlier today.
Thank you. I'm here with Sean Lotch, the director of Versant Power Astronomy Center in UMaine's Jordan Planetarium. He's wearing multiple hats today. I appreciate you taking the time just to step away for a couple minutes.
Glad to be here.
So, walk us through what you've been doing here today.
Yeah, so we're part of a special project to image the sun during totality. The project is called CATE, which stands for Continental American Telescopic Eclipse. There are 35 stations set up from Texas to Maine, and we're looking at the corona of the sun, which is the atmosphere, only visible during totality, and imaging it in polarized light.
Yeah. So that's pretty incredible. How are you guys able to do that?
Yeah, so we have an 80 millimeter telescope that is tracking the sun, and then a specialized camera that's going to be looking at the image in polarized light. And that allows us to basically get sort of a three-dimensional view of the corona, the atmosphere of the sun. So that's one of the areas that we don't really have a great understanding of, and it's one of the reasons we're trying to study it, is to learn more about it. The corona is the place where sort of space weather starts, and that's the weather that kind of can impact us here on Earth, everything from satellites to astronauts to communication grids. So it's an important area to sort of study and to research.
So, and the last time this came through here was 1963, correct?
Yeah, so solar eclipses happen on average every year to 18 months, but you have to be in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. So the last time Maine had totality was in 1963, and if you don't see the one today, well, then you're going to have to wait till 2079 before the next one comes around in Maine.
Right. And is there anything from 1963 that you're carrying with you today that maybe either from learning off of or any experience from that that event?
Well, I didn't get to see the one in '63. It was a hair before my time, but it is one of those things that every solar eclipse we are able to learn from, and we've been studying solar eclipses for, basically since the beginning of time. But two major discoveries that came out of solar eclipses, one was helium in 1868, was the first time helium was detected, and the second one was proving Einstein's theory of relativity back in the 1920s. So without those solar eclipses, there's a lot of science we wouldn't know. So there's a variety of special science that we can do only during totality, because that's the only time we can see the atmosphere or the corona of the sun.
I know earlier today we were talking about the weather, and I'm sure if you asked a week ago how the weather was, not so good. But today it's a good day today, right?
We have won the weather lottery, as I like to say it. So I feel probably even better than the guy who won the Powerball the other day or whatever. No, we were really expecting it to be cloudy, because Maine in April at this time of year, the forecast typically is not good. But we have the best weather. It's perfectly clear, and we're really excited for this eclipse. And the really cool thing too is that we can share it with the community here. I think the community is really excited about it as well. It's brought a lot of people here, and so hopefully that will give them a lot of help.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the PH students that are, having their hands pretty full right now and wearing multiple hats, and she was talking about the wind a little bit affecting some of maybe just the being able to focus on it. Is that a concern right now? It seems that the wind's calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, and typically right before totality it will calm down even a bit more. So hopefully that will be the case. If you have a lot of wind, it can shake the telescope, which can, cause a little bit of issue, but we're thinking we'll be in good shape.
Absolutely. I mean, you look around and not a cloud in the sky, so that's got to be a good sign.
We're definitely really excited about it, yeah.
And is there something, why Jackman for you guys?
So Jackman for us, it was on the center line, and we basically, with this NASA project, there's 35 stations, and they're equally spaced because we're trying to capture, as that shadow races across the Earth, we're trying to capture at each point along the path. And so this was our particular station. We felt like it was a good choice for the University of Maine, being here right on the edge of that, totality band.
Absolutely. And, is there anything from, by the time that you leave today, or whenever you guys leave, I'm sure you guys have been here for quite a while, that you hope to kind of carry with you?
I think, each total solar eclipse is special, and I think for me, the thing that I'll probably carry with me the most is having a chance to see totality here in our state, being here in Maine for this special event. I've had a chance to see 5 total solar eclipses, but I've had to travel all over the world. It's great to see one in one's own backyard.
Absolutely. Well, I don't want to keep you away for too long. I do appreciate you taking the time and to speaking with us, and I wish you the best of luck on the rest of your day today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys.
That's one theme that I think really resonated with us today, is just how lucky we were to be just so close to that path of totality, and for Mainers to experience it.
Yeah, it was a unique thing to behold, for sure, and we got to share it with so many wonderful people who were there for the very same reasons. So yeah, just an extraordinary day for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
All right.
Well, coming up, we'll have a look at some headlines from across the nation,
including the latest efforts to reach a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. We'll be right back.
We turning it up to 11. It's nonstop Masked Mania. All new Masked Singer, Wednesdays on Fox.
Great Scott! This is Green Bear 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
When you start any business, there's a lot of emotions that you feel. Being able to work with a credit union that believed in what we were trying to do has allowed us to grow so quickly. New fermentation tanks, a grain silo, 2 vehicles that we're using. I've always been able to reach the credit union as if they're in the next office over from me. When we started, we had 6 employees. 3 years later, over 50 employees. Every step of the way, the credit union has truly been a part of our team.
A quality replacement window made with Fibrix material, which is twice as strong as vinyl, delivered through a stress-free process. Welcome to Renewal by Andersen. Get the peace of mind knowing Renewal by Andersen handles everything, from start to finish. With one call, you'll enjoy working with the best people, exclusive products, and a superior process.
It's the people.
It's the process.
It's the product.
Call now to get our exceptional signature service. This fantastic offer is available only for a limited time. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
Planet Oats so creamy and not watery like.
Exactly, and unsweetened, has 0 grams of sugar.
And don't forget, it's an excellent source of calcium.
Wow, Planet Oat really has it all. You guys are so right.
No, you are.
No, you are.
No, you are.
Yeah, you are.
News doesn't happen in a newsroom, it happens out here in our communities.
It's more than just the headlines, it's stories of regular people doing extraordinary things.
And every morning on Good Morning Maine, we'll bring you those unique stories.
Stories that you won't see anywhere else.
And no matter what your plans are, we'll keep you prepared with a look at your local weather forecast for the day ahead.
Better mornings start right here.
Weekday mornings starting at 6 on Fox 22's Good Morning Maine.
There's been speculation about the true meaning of recent Israeli troop movements in Gaza. This as Hamas officials say no progress has been made in a new round of ceasefire talks in Egypt. Fox's Trey Yingst has the story from Tel Aviv.
This victory requires entering Rafah and eliminating the terrorist battalions there. This will happen. There is a date.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu laying out clear indications that his troops will enter Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah. The comments come after a surprise move over the weekend, with Israel withdrawing nearly all its forces from Gaza, leaving just one brigade with a few thousand soldiers behind. But Israeli officials say the tactical decision is not an indication the war against Hamas is over, rather a recalibration amid emerging regional threats.
I presume this is a tactical decision by the IDF and Israeli leadership in the face of a threat of a real attack from the north, from Hezbollah, or a direct attack from Iran.
As fighting grinds to a halt on Israel's southern front, negotiators met Monday in Cairo, Egypt, to hammer out the details of a ceasefire proposal. Teams from Israel, the United States, and Hamas, all vying for an agreement that could end the conflict, unlike past negotiations that aimed for a temporary pause. Hamas claims no progress was made in the talks, but the meetings are seen as a last-ditch effort to avert an Israeli operation into Rafah and rescue the remaining hostages. With ongoing ceasefire talks about Gaza, Israeli forces now look north to Lebanon, where this morning a Hezbollah field commander was killed in an Israeli airstrike.
This is not routine. We are in a multi-arena war. There is no reason for panic, but also no place for complacency. We must be aware of the situation and always prepared.
Israel is now faced with a multi-front conflict that could escalate further if Iran gets directly involved. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Abortion rights is one of many contentious issues this election, and this morning, former President Trump announced his latest policy stance on the issue, making it clear he would not push a federal abortion ban if elected. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more on that and what it could mean for his presidential bid.
This 50-year battle over Roe v. Wade took it out of the federal hands and brought it into the hearts, minds, and vote of the people in each state. It was really something. Now it's up to the states to do the right thing.
After Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court case that protected the federal right to an abortion was overturned. Former President Donald Trump is backing off the divisive issue, saying if he's president again, he'll leave it up to the states to decide their own abortion laws.
Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be.
It's a stark contrast from the national abortion ban some Republicans want to push through Congress.
That the Democratic position of no limits anytime, anywhere is out of line with the world.
And this is a debate worthy of a great nation.
But the president of the Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life Network says Trump's position cedes the national debate to Democrats who are working relentlessly to enact legislation mandating abortion throughout all 9 months of pregnancy.
I promise you, with the Democratic Congress, Kamala and I will make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again. I promise you.
A recent Fox News poll finds most voters agree with President Biden on this, with a record 59% saying abortion should be legal. It's a topic that's won Democrats' elections since Roe v. Wade was overturned, and Republicans seem to be realizing they need to change course. In his announcement, former President Trump also reiterated his support for IVF, a procedure facing legal issues after the Alabama Supreme Court ruled frozen embryos could be considered children. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, after a 2-week break, Congress returns to work this week. It faces a mountain of issues to deal with, including passing more aid for Ukraine, funding for the Baltimore Bridge, and an impeachment trial for the head of Homeland Security. Fox's Caroline Shively has details.
Funding Ukraine's fight against Russia tops a long list of issues facing Congress this week.
Ukraine is losing ground in the battlefield, and that's because of congressional inaction.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is facing pressure to pass an aid package, but fellow Republicans in both houses say they want a border deal along with it.
If he brings up a foreign aid package, sending billions of dollars to Ukraine without doing anything on the southern border, it will be a disgrace.
So far, no border deal has been reached. But on Wednesday, House Republicans will travel to the Senate to present their articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
For 3 years, Secretary Mayorkas has overseen the record-breaking crisis at the southern border. During that time, Customs and Border Protection have logged more than 7.4 million migrant encounters.
But Senate Democrats are expected to quickly table the motion and forego a Senate trial. Administration officials are also urging Congress to quickly authorize federal funds to rebuild the Francis Scott Key Bridge that collapsed when it was hit by a container ship 2 weeks ago.
We approved $60 million in emergency federal funding. I fully intend, as the governor knows, to have the federal government cover the cost of building this entire bridge.
Also this week, Japan's prime minister will address a joint meeting of Congress. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Actor Jonathan Majors will not serve time behind bars after he was convicted of misdemeanor assault and harassment in December. The sentencing from a New York judge coming today, and the actor could face even more time in court. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin is in L.A. with more.
Actor Jonathan Majors is not facing jail time after his misdemeanor assault conviction.
Was the sentence fair, Mr. Majors? Was the sentence fair, Mr. Majors?
Majors leaving a Manhattan court Monday with his girlfriend, actress Megan Good. The actor had faced up to a year in jail, but at his sentencing, a judge ordered the Creed 3 star to complete a year-long counseling program. Both sides agreeing that he should not face jail time because he was a first-time offender. Back in December, a jury convicted the 34-year-old of misdemeanor assault and harassment after his former girlfriend, Grace Jabari, said he attacked her in the backseat of a car during an altercation. Marvel Studios dropped Majors right after his conviction. He was slated to play the role of Kang the Conqueror. Addressing Majors in court, Jabari said that he has not accepted responsibility and, quote, he will do this again and he will hurt other women. Majors will have to complete a 52-week in-person intervention program and continue mental health therapy. He is also not allowed to contact Jabari. He could face jail time if he violates the judge's terms. Majors also faces a civil suit filed by Jabari, which accuses him of defamation and verbal and physical abuse. In Los Angeles, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
All right, and when we come back, we have all of the answers in our full 5-day forecast. Here's hoping there's more of what we had today.
Let's hope.
Yes.
And we saw that total solar eclipse finally right here in town. Hopefully folks had your glasses ready and prepared, but I am talking more clouds in the area very, very soon with more chances of rain. When? The answers coming up.
Did you know that free college is still available at WCCC in Calais? Free tuition for recent high school graduates has been extended and is now available for 2020 to 2025 graduates. You won't pay anything in tuition or mandatory fees while you pursue a degree or certificate at WCCC. Don't miss out. 2020 and 2021 high school graduates must enroll this spring or summer to be eligible. Our new student success specialist is ready to help you enroll for summer and fall courses. Washington County Community College. Discover choices. Create success.
So, all of us are here to talk about trading. Right now at US Cellular, you can get a new phone without having to trade in your old one.
Trade you my PB&J for that phone.
No, kid, you don't have to trade. See? $830 off any phone at US Cellular. No trade-in needed.
You drive a hard bargain. Boom. Chocolate milk.
You don't have to trade. I'll take the chocolate milk.
Okay.
Get $830 off any phone. No trade-in needed with any unlimited data plan.
For great Toyota offers not seen on TV, you could type buyatoyota.com into your browser, or you could simply scan this QR code and give your fingers a break. Buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals. Toyota, let's go places.
When we say it'll be on time, they expect it to be on time.
Turn shipping to your advantage.
Keep those expectations with reliable ground shipping.
Thanks, Brandon.
With USPS Ground Advantage.
These are officers from the police department.
I don't care who they are. I want you to leave.
Tuesday. Stop! A missing woman.
It's like the beginning of a horror movie.
A secretive community.
Issue the alert statewide.
A case only the MPU can solve.
We will find her.
We may forgive, but we do not forget.
It's a setup. Yeah.
I need you to come down nice and calm. Just let us go.
Alert Missing Persons Unit. All new Tuesday on Fox.
Hungry goats, drunken raccoons, driving dogs.
And a partridge in a pear tree?
No. All new Animal Control, Wednesdays on Fox.
Welcome back, folks. Our main weather today is brought to you by Big Pine Painting, the #1 family-owned and operated painting company serving Bangor and Belfast and surrounding areas. For all your paint, drywall, and pressure washing needs, call today for your free estimate. And what a day to remember. Total solar eclipse we saw. Hopefully, folks were outside and got a chance to see around 3 minutes and 22 seconds of darkness, which was outside earlier today, mainly north of the Bangor area, and it was stretching all the way from Texas across pretty much right down to Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and then right up into Maine earlier today. Dallas, Texas, though, you got lucky. Now you're seeing some rain and thunderstorms, but just a few hours ago, you saw sunshine and temperatures back in the 80s. For us, though, same story. We did see lots of sunshine. Temperatures, though, not in the 80s. We did see 60s in the area, but we were really lucky seeing that total solar eclipse with some perfect weather. We're not going to be seeing perfect weather for long, though. Wednesday afternoon, and then into Thursday, and then into Friday, and then into Saturday. We're talking rain in the area. Mainly going to be a rain event. A few snowflakes may mix in. Otherwise, though, we are looking at mainly a rain event and a lot of rain to come. We're talking over an inch of rain here in town, right up into Dover, Foxcroft, Millinocket, maybe a little bit less, and then right at the coast, Bar Harbor, Machias, Rockland, we are talking over 1 inch of liquid equivalent rain on the way. But you know what else is on the way? Some cooler temperatures with that. Our average is around 50, so we're going to be below average Wednesday and Thursday, and then right back up to above average temperatures Friday and Saturday, and then closer to average by Sunday. But middle of this week, we are talking rain in the area, unfortunately, still going to be in our forecast. For tonight, though, no rain, not even close. We're talking mainly clear skies. Temperatures will be hovering in those lower 30s. Overall, though, the northwest wind will be occasionally gusting around 20 up to 25 miles an hour at times, but overall, though, it will continue to die down. For tomorrow, though, finally, winds much calmer. We're still talking a north wind gusting around 15, closer to 20 miles per hour, but it will continue to die down. We're going to see mainly sunny skies, though. Temperature-wise, though, not quite as warm as today. We're going to be hovering above average into those mid-50s, but still a nice-looking day for tomorrow. Not quite a good-looking day for Wednesday, Thursday, and then into Friday. But don't worry, folks, it will get better. Our extended forecast outlook does show afternoon chances of rain on Wednesday, picking up in intensity on Thursday, mainly overnight. Lingering into Friday, temperatures will start to warm up. Back in those mid-50s by Friday into Saturday, we're still going to see mainly cloudy skies and some sprinkles, maybe a rain shower or two, mainly in the morning hours on Saturday. Other than that, we'll finally start to clear up.
Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
Transform your surroundings with Paramount Paving, located in Bangor. They are your paving and seal coating experts. Whether it's residential maintenance to full commercial projects, Paramount Paving delivers quality that lasts. Book before June 1st and enjoy a $250 Visa gift card upon completion of your next paving project. Call us today at 602-8931 or visit us at ParamountPavingLLC.com. Paramount Paving, setting the standard for excellence. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount. Refine, your local expert in window and door installation, carpentry repairs, and commercial facilities management. At Refine, we're proud to offer Maine-made Paradigm windows crafted with care and precision to ensure quality and durability like no other. From quaint cottages to bustling businesses, let us refine your space with our signature Maine-made touch. Trust Refine to exceed your expectations every time. Contact us today and let Maine craftsmanship elevate your home or business. Rise with Refine.
Mesothelioma is more than a ravaging illness. It is a disease that can ruin a family's finances and is never the victim's fault. The law offices of Joe Bornstein has been fighting and winning for Maine families for nearly 50 years, and we've collected over $500 million for injured Mainers. If you or a loved one is a victim of mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call Joe today for a free case evaluation and to learn about your family's legal rights. Dial 207-CALL-JOE or online at joebornstein.com.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Healing Hands Massage in Hamden, providing professional massage services tailored specifically for their clients. Stop by Healing Hands Massage today. You'll thank yourself later.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with the big news coming into the day in the hockey world. After 1 year with the Black Bears, Carolina Hurricanes first-round pick Bradley Nadeau has been picked up by the pro club. Nadeau was selected by Carolina in the first round of the 2023 draft with the 30th overall pick. In his lone season as a Black Bear, he was named to the Hockey East second team and the all-rookie team, leading Maine with 46 points on 19 goals and 27 assists. His 46 points were the most by a Black Bear since 2011 and 12, and the first time a rookie scored over 40 in a season since 2007. Certainly nice to get to watch him in Orono this past season. Wishing him all the best. All right, let's go on to some basketball now. For the first time in franchise history, the Maine Celtics are heading to the NBA's G League Finals. The Celtics will face Oklahoma City in the finals. The schedule looks like this. Game 1 will be Tuesday night at 8 o'clock at the Expo, with Game 2 taking place Thursday night in Oklahoma City. And then, if need be, Game 3 Monday night back in Portland with a 9 p.m. tip-off from the Expo. The Celtics, by the way, went 2-0 against OKC during the regular season. The Celtics punching their ticket with a 99-77 win on Sunday over the Long Island Nets. Once again, guard DJ Stewart providing a huge spark, 27 points. After the game, head coach Blaine Miller talked about how special this amazing run has been and the support the fans have given.
Our group loves to have fun. They have, from start to finish, win, lose, or draw, every single day they show up ready to work and really ready to enjoy it. And that's, for us, been the message the whole time, an opportunity to play a conference final game, to go to the finals on your home court, enjoy it, have fun.
Let's go to some baseball now. The snow has been cleared from the John W. Winkin Complex in Husson, and the Eagles getting in some doubleheader action on Monday against Leslie. Not a cloud in the sky for some baseball, but there was a moon at one point, though. Game 1, the Eagles down 4-2 late here. Bangor's Matt Holmes at the dish, and he ropes a double into right field. That's going to two-hop the wall, and he gets into second with ease, standing up. A couple of batters later, Colin Marshall up. Holmes at third after a sac bunt. Marshall Marshall flies one into right field in foul territory. A nice throw here, trying to get Holmes at the plate, but an even better jump. It is now 4-3. Keegan Sear on base now. Akira Warren at the plate. Warren smacks this one into left field. That's another double, and that would tie the game at 4 apiece. Leslie would plate 3 in the 6th. Bottom of the 7th now. Bases loaded. Jackson Curtis gets all of this one. That is a walk-off grand slam, and it sends Husson home with an 8-7 win in Game 1. To Game 2 now, Leslie up 3-zip. Bases loaded. Alan Wheaton comes in relief, and he is going to blow this one by Jake Samela to get into the dugout. Let's get those bats going now. Sear now up to the plate. He's going to connect with this one. Doesn't hit it hard, but that doesn't matter. It's a liner to right in the scorebooks. That is a single for Sear. Beats out the throw. No throw. He's on third now for Cam Rendell, and Rendell drives in the run with a single. Husson now just trails 3-1. 3-2 now, and there is a man on for Holmes, and Holmes unloads on this baseball. That one is long gone, not too up on the wall this time. Deep to right field. Eagles take a 4-3 lead late, and Wheaton would have enough insurance there. He went 4 1/3 scoreless for the win, 5 strikeouts and 2 hits. Eagles get the sweep. 5-3 is the final. All right, let's stay on the diamond here. The Red Sox red hot to start the year. After their first 10 games of the season, all on the road, the Sox coming back to Boston with a 7-3 record. 7-3 record. Red Sox winning the rubber match of their series with Los Angeles on Sunday behind 6 scoreless innings from Tanner Houck. We mentioned it a few days ago, but pitching has been great so far to start the year for Boston. These are offensive highlights. Houck coming up in a minute. Rafi Devers smashing a home run yesterday. But a hot start means nothing if you can't keep it going, and they know they have a really good offense coming to Fenway Tuesday for the home opener against the Orioles.
You know, the group did an outstanding job in the offseason. They bought into it in spring training, and for the first road trip, it was amazing, you know, but now we just got to be ready for probably the best team in the division, you know. Everybody knows how good they are.
All right, lastly, we'll stay on the baseball diamond. A busy weekend in Portland, not only for the Sea Dogs players, coaches, and fans, but also for the grounds crew. Despite the midweek nor'easter, the Sea Dogs finally getting the chance to play ball at Hadlock on Sunday. The amazing grounds crew put in some overtime to get Hadlock Field ready for their home opener on Sunday. It was supposed to be played on Friday, but the snow had other plans. It was actually supposed to be a 3-game series. Friday and Saturday's games were snowed out, only playing 1. But just look at some of the views of the field after the nor'easter. In just 48 hours after canceling Friday's game, though, the Dogs and the Hartford Yard Goats opened the year at Hadlock. When you looked at it, if you were at the ballpark, you would have never known there was a blizzard just a few days prior.
Fortunately, the first couple of days we weren't able to get out there. Moisture was a little bit of an issue. We had some rain behind the snow, so we had to be patient with that. And once we were able to get out there with some equipment, kind of break it up a little bit, we were able to get a little better melt today. Expecting cloud cover today, and we got a little bit of sun, and that certainly helped us. So.
All right, hopefully the weather sticks around. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Protect your vehicle from rusting away with Bell's Automotive Protection. We are the leader in mobile undercoating and rust proofing in Maine. We'll travel right to your driveway using the best and safest products on the market. This is much safer than rubberized coatings that can cause damage later on. We spray all types of vehicles, including commercial fleets. We all know vehicles aren't cheap anymore. Don't let the harsh winter chemicals eat them away. Call us or visit our page for a free quote. 207-659-3805.
It was one thing when my mom got Alzheimer's, but then we started noticing things that seemed off. She developed agitation that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Sometimes she'd fidget with her fingers, get suddenly overwhelmed, and even throw things. And that was just never her. So we asked her doctor what else we could do.
Rexulti is the only FDA-approved medication proven to reduce agitation symptoms that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Rexulti can cause serious side effects. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which can be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, increased cholesterol, low white blood cells, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, falls, seizures, trouble swallowing, vomiting, or sleepiness may occur.
Rexulti helped reduce my mom's symptoms.
Take action for your loved one. Ask their doctor about Rexulti.
We had to take out our old gas heating. That was a huge project. I was so overwhelmed, so I started contacting people off of Angie to work with people that knew what they were doing. It was a game changer.
Get started today at Angie.com.
Watch and win.
One word left.
Shopping.
Shopping cart.
Boom. Every weekday.
Did you see it, Amanda? I'm impressed every time.
25 words or less.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
It's Judge Judy's greatest hits with classics like
That's ridiculous. That's a lot of baloney.
Judge Judy.
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
Whether it's getting a new roof or having your gutters cleaned, it is that time of year where many people often think about spring projects. Well, the Great Home Expo returned to Bangor this weekend to help local contractors and businesses connect with the community. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
The Great Home Expo is Bangor's premier home show.
We pulled together all of the best contractors and retail providers that we can find that have anything to do with the home or family.
Nearly 100 local businesses were represented throughout the three-day event.
My top goal of this entire show is to make sure that the local businesses are out in front of their community and have a way to connect with people and personalize their business a little more than just traditional marketing.
Vendors say it's a great way to connect face-to-face with the community.
It's huge. I mean, talking to people face-to-face, actually, you can connect with people a whole lot more than just a phone call or an email. So, yeah, it makes it a lot more fun to interact with potential people.
For many of the businesses, it's a great transition into their busiest time of the year.
This is usually right before we get ready to pump up for the season, so this is kind of a good little flow of leads to get the season started.
Locals say they enjoy the variety of vendors showcased.
It's very broad. There's things in here for everybody.
This was the Expo's third year at the Cross Center, and organizers say certainly not the last.
The dates for 2025 will be announced in the near future, and it will be even bigger next year.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Finally, if you don't plan to keep your solar eclipse glasses as a souvenir, Tiller & Ryan Brewer will gladly take them off your hands. The Brewer business is collecting used solar eclipse glasses for the organization Eclipse Glasses USA. That organization then sends them onto into Latin America for an eclipse planned in that region in October. So from now until April 18th, you can donate your used viewing glasses at the store on South Main Street. Becky Levitt says a former employee shared the opportunity with the staff, who all thought it was a great idea.
We're looking for used but not damaged solar eclipse glasses. Yeah, definitely repurposing, reusing, recycling, minimizing food waste, all of those things. So this is aligned very closely with what we believe in here.
Tiller & Rye is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays, 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Keeping alive the theme of reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Yeah, and kind of sharing the eclipse with those folks as well. So here's glasses you can use to watch it safely.
Exactly.
Alrighty, folks, that does it for us. Good night.
Good night, everyone.